got a couple guys on to start the inning, and then it just kind of was contagious. We just got short line drive approaches, and we were able to put the ball in play, and the ball was just falling our way.
Talk about Nehemiah a little bit and how you guys he shut you down a little bit. So what was his stuff like?
He had 3 good pitches for strikes. I mean, he had a good fastball, 88 probably, then a really good sharp curveball that just we kind of gave up on. I feel like, but I mean, he was throwing strikes, so I mean, hats off to him.
George talked about last weekend, you guys not doing some of the execution, and not executing some of the situational things that you need to do. Tonight you had a bunch of 2-out RBI hits. How big were those, and how important is that going down the stretch?
That was huge. I mean, I think we scored 5 runs on 2 outs in the 4th inning, which was, I mean, big. I mean, anytime you can get 5, put up a cricket number like that in PK Park, we're going to win a lot of games like that.
What made it different tonight compared to last week?
I don't know. Yeah, I think guys just got tired of, I mean, it was not a fun weekend last weekend, so we just took it this week to really prepare and just come out a little bit more aggressive than we did last weekend, and I mean, just kind of showed in the 4th.
Thank you. Like that.
Well, under control. You were pitching at a nice pace, and it seemed like everything was working pretty well for you. Felt good right from the start?
Yep, really good from the start. Just came straight from the bullpen, and I mean, everything looked good in the bullpen, so I just took what I had in the bullpen and brought it to the game.
How important is that to have a start like that after the outing you had last Friday?
It's important because, you know, I mean, you're going to have bad games like that, and then you're going to have good games like this as well, and then somewhere in the middle. So you just got to find something in the middle and work with it.
In that first inning, you gave up a bunch of, I think all 3 outs were hard hit, and then you guys made a couple good plays. Did that help your confidence with those good plays behind you?
Yeah, definitely. First inning, like you said, was 3 hits or 3 line drives, pop-ups, anyway, however you want to look at it. But after that, I was dialed in.
How familiar were you with them from last year?
With Ohio State, we were towards the end of the season. We played them, and sort of the same thing happened. We gave 1 run against them last year. So I just took what I remember from last year and brought it to this game.
I think that was a career high in strikeouts for you.
Mm-hmm.
Did you realize that at the time, and how are you missing so many bats?
I was looking at it every once in a while over there at the K board, but I tried to not stare at it too much because I was just trying to pitch my game.
You got 21 swings and misses tonight. Is that something you were surprised about, at least with how much they were whiffing?
Yes and no, because beginning of the season, my slider was getting tagged a little bit, hit. So seeing them hit swing and miss was, it reminded me of last year because my slider was just as good as it was today as it was last night, or as it was last year.
You talked about making some mechanical adjustments this season. Starting like this give you more confidence in those?
Definitely. And they were minor mechanical adjustments, so it's nothing big.
Tommy George, talked the other day about, well, you might even look at who the first game starter was and that kind of thing. Do you pay much attention to that, or is it
No, I just try and put that in the back of my mind. I don't ever listen or because I don't want to go out thinking like, oh, he doesn't trust me or anything like that. So I just took it as it was and pitched a good game.
It seemed like you were throwing the breaking ball a lot today. Was it more than usual, or?
Right around the same. I felt like there was some counts where I thought we were going to go with the fastball. We went with the slider, but again, nothing out of the norm.
How'd you feel when they took you out? I mean, did you want out, or?
No, I wanted to go again in the 8th, and I wanted to go CG, of course. But Coach Horton knows what's best for me, so I took it as it was, and that's what happened.
Was the pitch count getting to what?
Pitch count was up a little bit. It was, I believe, Horton told me 96 pitches through 7. So that was a little high going into 7. So I was okay with him taking me out.
Did you feel like your stuff was getting a little wobbly at all? You hit 2 guys.
Yeah, a little bit. Slider didn't slide at all to the lefty, and then the slider slid too much to the righty and hit him in the back foot. So I just lost my command a little bit with my slider at the end of there at that inning. Thank you.
He pitched good. I think even to start the game, he was. I think it might have been a little bit of a hangover effect that he really didn't look real. had great conviction on his pitches, maybe a little doubt in his mind, and then of course after we got the 7, he looked like a different guy, looked like Tommy from last year. So I think the fact that we were able to bust through like that and make him relax, and then he could trust his stuff, I thought this definitely was his best outing of the year.
How important were those first couple good plays by Payne and Karaviotis in the first inning?
That was big. In college baseball nowadays, teams that score first, if you go back and look at the percentage of wins, especially us, it's a big deal. So being able to hold them off and then get a 1 ourselves, and then the 4th inning was just spectacular. I mean, even Karaviotis getting a sac fly there for, I think it was our 3rd run or whatever, and then boom, 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 boom after that. If he has a negative at bat there, that whole inning could have gone differently. So we played well, and then tip your cap to their relief pitcher. He came in and looked like Jim Palmer of old. I'm dating myself a little bit. That downer curveball and 3-pitch mix, and we didn't touch him, but luckily we had enough runs in the bank at that point.
You talked about not executing in some situations last weekend. You got a bunch of 2-out hits tonight, especially in that 7-run inning. What was different from the guys? Just a more aggressive approach?
Yeah, I think the fact that we have more guys in our batting order this year that can hurt you, that have a kind of a hitter's mentality, and making them pay for not hitting cutoff man and those type of things. And in BB Core era, it's 2-out RBIs are premium, and a lot of times that's decides whether you win or lose a game. That didn't decide whether we won or lost this game, but that's certainly a lot of great 2-out at bats in that 4th inning, of course. And you'd like to, not like we didn't need them tonight, and you kind of don't want to waste those. Hopefully those will continue to show up.
When's the last time you saw a Thorpe slider that effective?
Well, it's been in and out this year. I think at times it's been that good. I think the fact that he was able to get his curveball, he has 2 breaking balls, and locate his fastball and get ahead is always the big difference. If guys they don't chase pitches out of the zone when you're not ahead. So Tommy got ahead and then had his 3-pitch mix going and pitched very well.
George, he hit the 2 guys in the 7th. Was it that or the pitch count that said enough for this early in the season?
He was at 96, and he wasn't going to, in my mind, unless he had 2 3-pitch innings, he wasn't going to finish the game. So I thought it was a good opportunity to get him out on a positive note, and then get Darryl and Jordan Spencer some work, and those guys will be available for the rest of the weekend too. So because he was at 96.
You had the failed first and home double steal, and I think it was the 3rd inning. Was that kind of based on the one that was successful last weekend, or what was kind of the thing?
Yeah, we like that's no secret that a lot of college teams try that when they get kid has 2 strikes on them, and we did a steal stop, and they had the right defense set, and they execute and play catch. We're most of the time when you're doing those kind of plays, you're either trying to trick them or get them to not play catch. And so when it doesn't work, you look kind of stupid. When it does work, you look smart. So. But usually we typically give the hitter 2 strikes to hit with, and then if he hasn't got it done by that point, then sometimes we'll try it with 2 strikes.
You talked about punishing him for not hitting the cutoff man. Seemed real aggressive on the base paths. Was that part of the game plan, or just as things were going?
Oh yeah, Coach Waz and Coach Ullman teach aggressive base running. We're always looking for that extra base, and we try to teach our guys to run in 2s. And when an outfielder has an opportunity to throw out that lead runner, it's automatic that the hitter's going to spin and go to second. So some of those were going to happen whether they hit the cutoff man or not, simply because the flight of the ball tells us that they have a chance to throw the guy out the plate. So that's predetermined. Coach Ullman and Coach Hambright do a good job of coaching the bases. And so when you don't throw a guy out, then it kind of compounds itself because another guy's in scoring position. Took advantage of that as well.
Any update on when Heineman might be expected to come back?
I think he's doubtful for the weekend. Our fingers are crossed that maybe when league starts he'll be good to go. Took a few more harder swings today, and really was going to take infield outfield, but didn't feel too comfortable doing that. So keep our fingers crossed. Hopefully we have him next weekend. Okay, thanks guys.